All right, today we're going to look at AKS 12. AKS 12 has us look at how an author might unfold a series of ideas and lay them out for the reader so that we can understand new ideas in order for them to get across the purpose. So we're going to not only examine how the author unfolds a series of ideas, we're also going to critique the author and determine if she is effective in achieving her purpose. And we're going to do this by looking at this nonfiction book called Plastic, A Toxic Love Story. This is by Susan Frankel, and it is, again, nonfiction, so it goes into the sort of obsession that America has with plastic and everything that we use that has plastic in it, which you can tell by the picture of the title. It's made up of various objects that are plastic. So we're going to start on page 5. This is where she's going to introduce the reader to polymers and explain how things like toothbrushes and pantyhose are both plastic. And again, our job is to be critiquing her. We're only going to read a short bit. Let's see if I can make this so that you can see it. However much they differ, all plastics have one thing in common. They are polymers, which is Greek for many parts. They are substances made up of long chains of thousands of atomic units called monomers, Greek for one part, linked into giant molecules. Polymer molecules are absurdly huge compared to the tiny, compact molecules of a substance like water, with its paltry 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms. Polymer molecules can contain tens of thousands of monomers, chain links so long that for years scientists disputed whether they could actually be bonded into a single molecule. You might as well claim, said one chemist, that somewhere in Africa an elephant was found who was 1,500 feet long and 300 feet wide or high. But the molecules did exist, and their hugeness helps account for plastic's essential feature, its plasticity. Think of the ways a long strand of beads can be manipulated, pulled, or stretched, stacked, or coiled, compared to what can be done with just a single bead or a few. The lengths and arrangements of the strands help to determine a polymer's properties, its strength, durability, clarity, flexibility, elasticity. Chains crowded close together can make for a tough, rigid plastic bottle, like the kind used to hold detergent. Chains more widely spaced can yield a more flexible bottle, ideal for squeezing out things like ketchup. So we have this new idea, and I'm just going to write this out. Okay, she's trying to introduce the reader to a new idea, and that is all plastics, no matter how solid, like that detergent bottle, right, or flexible, like a ketchup bottle, are polymers. Okay, which, she says, is a type of molecule made up of long chains of, another word, monomers. Okay, so this is the idea that she wants to get across to her reader. Now, how does she do it? That's the part of the AKS we've got to, think about. How does the author introduce and develop this idea? All right. Now remember, you're going to be doing this work too. So at first, what she does is she breaks down the word polymer. She tells us it's Greek for many parts. The second thing she does is she teaches the word monomer. Which is also a Greek word that means one part, which you probably would know because of this stem here, mono. Then She uses a comparison. She compares to a long strand of beads, which we can all envision, that can be manipulated. So that gives us a visual of monomers and polymers. I would also say that she turns science into sort of like an everyday language. So for instance, when she tells us that crowded chains of monomers is equal to like that rigid detergent bottle, it helps us understand that's how plastic can be hard. And then she says a little bit like wide space chains are more flexible, like the ketchup bottle. All right, so our job is not done though as we're critiquing our author. Now we've understood that she wanted to introduce to us a new idea about plastic. This is how she goes about this new idea. She breaks down the word polymer, teaches the word monomer, compares to long strands of beads, and gives us the idea of the difference between flex and rigid. The critiquing part is what's important. So I've already written this out so that we could move to your independent work. But I'm asking myself, is this explanation effective, and does it serve the purpose of the author? So I said yes. I said I understand enough of the science now to know that the book is about more than just hard plastic like your car dashboard. So I trust the author can introduce science topics like this one, polymer, in a way that the reader can understand and then apply it to life. So this is very important, especially within the first few pages of a book like Plastic, where we're going to be reading a ton of material. Getting that foundational information across to the reader is super important. This is her purpose, and she's effective in doing it. Now it's your turn to practice AKS 12, to look at how an author unfolds a series of ideas, and to critique and determine if it's effective for their purpose.